Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. This is Cadtrix, and in this video we're going to be doing, and the title says, parameters. So essentially parameters are just basically variables in a sense. Like if you've done any sort of programming, essentially a variable, and you can use variables and multiply variables. That's essentially what it is. So whenever we're drawing like a sketch, what we can do, if you remember from kind of like the beginning sort of tutorials, and if you're just joining this tutorial, oh, I got a text. That's not really helpful at this time. So essentially at the beginning we're saying, if you go to the sketch dimension where you type it in, you can type in something like my dimension, I don't know, equals 5. When you've done that, you've created what is called a model parameter. But I've already explained those. Maybe I'll come back to them at the end of this video. But I wanted to focus on user parameters. So essentially user parameters are defined in this change parameters kind of menu. So you can also go to modify and change parameters here, or you could just click on there. So essentially, at the moment, I've got 2 user parameters, and I'm going to add, actually, I'm not going to add. So essentially, I'm going to show you if I change this from 100 here to say 10, you see we have our sketch profile update. And because this one is based off this one, so you can see we can use, you can see it's an expression, we can put some sort of maths in it. So we've got 2 times the diameter. So we've got 2 things that will update essentially the diameter and this outer circle. I probably should have done this differently, but I also have 3 and I got another one, another text message. So I should have probably added these at a different time, but these are the model parameters. So this is essentially, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, these are, if you go into the sketch, when you type, say, I don't know, diam equals 2. I've just created a model parameter. So if you go back here and go to change parameters, you can see that, was it this one? I can't remember now. Let's just create it again. I think that was it. Distracted by the text messages. So I'm just going to put something. Okay, let's just make another circle. So I'm going to make a circle here and 34. So I'm going to type in big circle diam equals 60. Okay, 100 equals 100. There we go. So it's massive. So if we go to finish sketch and then go back to change parameters, we should be able to see big circle diameter. So we can change this from this menu here to anything we like. So it's pretty useful. So, and if we go into something of a different example, we can go to the FX button, change parameters, and we can change the shell. Got a shell on that one. We can change that to 10, change it to 50. And you can see that each of the models, each of the 2 bodies update, because when I created, sorry, it's the wrong one. If I go to the lid and the sketch, double click on that. Oh, that was the right one. Sorry. When I created the height, instead of typing a literal number into the distance, I typed in the shell parameter. So you can see it's got a little fx next to it. If you click on here, it will show you what it actually is. So now I'm going to show you how to actually create it. So I'm going to open up a blank document. And let's say we want to make that box like I was doing before. So what I'm going to do is create a new sketch on the floor surface. And with my rectangle tool, and if you don't know what I'm pressing R for rectangle. You can also go here. You should know this by now, hopefully, unless this is the first video you've watched of my series. So that's also a chance, that possibility. So what we're going to do, we're going to type in, this is for the model parameters, we're going to type in length equals 50. And we're going to type in, let's call this the width. We'll call that 25. Finish sketch. Now we're going to press E for extrude. You could also press Q for press pull. We're going to type in height equals 100. Sorry, not 100. We're going to type in height equals, let's try 20. Now we're going to do is go to the shell, and we're going to type in something like shell. Yeah, shell's fine. Let's type in shell equals 3. Now, if we go to change parameters, we should have a bunch of parameters created. These should be, I don't know why they're all favorited. Let's try that again. There we go. So you can see under model parameters, we have all the things that I just typed. So if we change the shell, type in 10, and that's just ridiculous, but as you can see, it's updated. Now, if you want to create the parameters from before, which isn't the one where you type in a dimension box when you're creating the sketch, what you need to do is probably think about doing it before you create the sketch. So if we open the parameters menu and go to user parameters, we want to click on this plus here. So now we can give it a name. So we can type in something like, I don't know, diameter. And for the expression, we can either give it maths, which we won't be able to do with the first thing, because we don't have anything to base off anything else. We don't have any pre-made circles with existing names to use. So what we can do is type in something like 10. We could type anything there. And the comment is just like a reminder. So I don't know, the circle, the main circle diameter. Of course, this is completely optional for the comment. Now what we can do is create another one and say second circle. And of course, you can only type it without a space. Once you give it a space, it will not like it. And of course, if you don't use millimeter, you can select whatever you want, but you can also select no units as well, which is a thing you can do if you want to. The reason you'd use no units is, say, if you just want a quantity. So if you're talking about, say, if you created some equation to create a gears or gear teeth, you don't. It doesn't have a unit like millimeter. It's just a quantity. So that's why you'd select no units. So if I just want 15 teeth, I can type in no units and 15. Anyway, so if we put this back to millimeter and we put in something like, then we can use the previous parameter in this one. So we can type in diameter, and for some reason, annoyingly, tab does not auto select this. So you have to either, I think you could probably, yeah, if you click enter, it should auto fill it for you. We can type in times 1.5. So now if we create a circle on the floor, and if you don't know, I'm pressing C for circle, and this creates this gizmo in the frame, in the viewport, so to speak. We're going to select the floor, and now what we're going to do is create our circle, and we're just going to drag it out. However, it doesn't really matter because Now we're going to press D for dimension. You can also go to this sketch dimension, and we're going to select on our first circle, our main circle. Now instead of 60, we're going to type in our parameter. So what was that parameter name? So this was something like diameter. So hit enter, we'll select it and press enter again. Now we're going to hit D, which we should already be selected, and put a dimension on the second circle. Now we can type in second circle and press enter and enter again. So now these are linked to the parameters that we declared in here. So if we change this to say 2, it should update quite nicely. So yeah, that's essentially parameters. I mean, this is kind of a basic example of parameters, but, and I think I've said parameters about 5,000 times already in this tutorial, but this is a really basic example of parameters, but you can use parameters to do all complex kind of maths to create complex things. As I was saying, that you can create gears and like spur gears based off based off doing equations and expressions in this. It's a much more convenient way of altering the amount of teeth that you want on, say, the gear by just changing, say, this was that no parameter quantity here. Oh, I want, I know, 36 teeth. You type in there, now you've got 36 teeth. It would be kind of impossible, well, not impossible, but extremely difficult to do that by, you know, any other means, really. So yeah, that's just a really basic example of parameters, and I hope it helped. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Or if you found it horrendous, please feel free to insult me in the comments. And while you're here, don't forget to check out the previous video, if you haven't already, and the next video. Catch you in the next one.